Will Hell Prevail? Chapter 5, A Coin. In the third parable of the poetic triplet, the intriguing moral of the lost coin tale emphasizes the worth of something lost and the steadfast pursuit of the one who looks until it is recovered. This story helps us understand the tremendous value that God sets on every person, as well as the unceasing love and grace with which he pursues the lost. Let's examine the meaning of this story and its implication for realizing the importance that God places on the lost and his unrelenting pursuit of them until they are found. In Luke 15, 8 through 10, Jesus presents the parable of the lost coin. Quote, "Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Doesn't she light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, 'Rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin.' In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." End of quote, NIV. Within this simple narrative, Jesus skillfully captures the essence of God's heart and his profound love for humanity. The woman in the parable, representing God, possesses 10 valuable coins. When one goes missing, the woman takes immediate action, lighting a lamp and thoroughly searching her house until the lost coin is discovered. The parable emphasizes the intrinsic worth of that which is lost. Each individual soul is unique, precious, and cherished by God. The lost coin symbolizes the people who have strayed, wandered, and become disconnected from their Creator. Despite the vastness of creation, God's love extends to every single individual, for all bear his divine imprint. The parable reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of God's pursuit, and regardless of how far they may have wandered or how insignificant they might feel. According to the website biblicalportal.com, the coin represented a value greater than what a laborer in Israel would typically earn in a single day. This was a time and a region where people often lived precariously with only a slim margin between them and actual hunger. In this story, the woman's determined search was likely motivated by the dire consequence of not finding the coin. The family would have to go without food, perhaps. The parable highlights this relentless pursuit of the woman in search of her lost coin. She spares no effort in her quest, meticulously searching every corner of her house until the precious item is recovered. This portrayal of unyielding determination and unwavering commitment serves as a powerful metaphor for God's relentless pursuit of the lost souls. God's love and grace extend far beyond what we can comprehend as he continually seeks to restore and reconcile the broken and estranged. The parable of the lost coin holds significant implications for our lives. It reminds us of the immeasurable value we possess in the eyes of God and the lengths to which he goes to bring us back into his loving embrace. Moreover, it compels us to recognize the worth of others, encouraging us to engage in compassionate action and become instruments of God's love in their lives. Just as the woman in the parable celebrated the recovery of the lost coin with others, we are called to rejoice and extend a helping hand to those who have been found by God's redemptive love. Consider an example from America's recent past. The events of September 11, 2001 were a tragic and devastating moment in American history. On that day, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airplanes, with 2 of them crashing into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. The impact and the subsequent fires caused the Twin Towers to collapse, resulting in a massive pile of rubble and debris. Amidst the chaos and destruction, first responders, including firefighters, police officers, and emergency personnel, rushed in to the scene to rescue the survivors. They displayed extraordinary courage and determination, working tirelessly to locate and save those trapped in the wreckage. they faced extreme dangers as they navigated the unstable and hazardous environment created by the fallen buildings. Despite these challenges, they worked diligently, often risking their lives to save others. While many lives were tragically lost on that fateful day, the dedication and determination of the first responders led to a handful of survivors being found in the rubble. In contemplating the dedication and determination of these first responders in searching for survivors, we can draw a parallel to the concept of God's love and care for his children who are lost. The story of the 911 first responders serves as a powerful illustration for us in this discussion. If we consider the lengths to which human beings will go to search for and save even a few lives in a time of crisis, how much more would we think God would do to rescue his children? So in this light, what do all three of these parables tell us about who God is, especially considering the context of his infiniteness? Well, first, he loves us unimaginably. Second, he is relentless in his pursuit of mankind. 3, he places an incredible value upon us. The overwhelming love that God has for us is the first lesson learned from these stories. In the tale of the prodigal son, the father's unconditional love and acceptance of his rebellious son serves as a metaphor for the limitless depth of God's love, which welcomes us despite our flaws and disobedience. Also notice, even the disgruntled elder brother, perhaps representing all of us religious types who think we are currently accepted because of our tendency towards self-righteousness, is not left out of the father's welcome in spite of the bitterness toward both the father and lost brother. Then in the parable of the lost sheep, Jesus describes the shepherd leaving behind the other 99 sheep to look for the lone sheep that had wandered off. It's truly fascinating how Jesus emphasized the value of the lost sheep by telling the parable of the shepherd who leaves the 99 to search for it. One preacher shared a humorous story to illustrate this point. He recounted an incident where one of his children was accidentally left inside a mall when the family was about to leave. He humorously emphasized that he didn't think to himself, well, I still have at least 4 kids left, and simply leave the child there. The humor aside, his underlying message was that losing even one child was completely unimaginable and simply unacceptable, mirroring how God views humanity. God's relentless pursuit of the lost is akin to the shepherd's unwavering dedication to finding that one lost sheep, ensuring that all are safely reunited with him. The lost sheep illustrates his continuous pursuit of those who have wandered. His unfathomable love, which embraces and mends even the wayward and damaged, is embodied by the prodigal son. The lost coin serves as an example of the immense value that God places on each individual, reminding us that our Heavenly Father treasures and seeks ceaselessly for us. May we come to understand the transforming power of God's unrelenting pursuit, unfathomable love, and acknowledgement of our enormous value in his kingdom as we accept these truths. These 3 parables appear to be a significant attempt by Christ to clarify God's ultimate character. These stories also appear to initiate a course of events that logically leads to a good ending. Jesus vividly depicted a facet of the divine nature within the Father, suggesting that if any being could devise a method to heal all of humanity, right down to the very last individual, in a way that wins over every free will willingly, then it is undeniably Jesus' Father who will accomplish this feat. My conjecture is that he will execute it in a manner so astounding, with a plan that has been concealed in plain sight all along, that it will leave us all awestruck. He will undoubtedly emerge victorious, even if, on the surface, his strategy appears to be on the brink of defeat until the last moment. Isn't this what Paul endeavored to convey in his revelation of the mystery of Christ's way of the cross lifestyle, to which he calls us all? This is because God's love, called agape, in the Greek, is a sacrificial love and is unfailingly triumphant. In fact, we can now perceive more clearly the wisdom of God in employing the counterintuitive concept of a suffering, seemingly defeated and frail Messiah who endured cruel torment and a brutal execution on one of humanity's most ingeniously cruel methods, the Roman cross. This brought about a startling, wholly unexpected triumph in God. God's methods consistently challenged conventional wisdom and reveal his ultimate power through apparent weakness. The universe's enigma lies in his love. Given this perspective of God's nature, it is more probable that we will experience yet another surprising turn of events in the end. For indeed, as Paul so clearly told us, love never fails.